RIT Sports Network proudly welcomes you to the Gene Policini Center on the campus of the Rochester Institute of Technology and home of the 20th ranked Tigers. Just 4 games remain in the regular season as the Air Force Academy has landed in town to begin a crucial series with RIT. The Falcons, currently 5th in the standings, would earn a first-round bye, but would have to go on the road for the quarterfinals. As for Carter Wilkie and the Tigers, they're currently clinging to the top spot in Atlantic hockey by just a point over Sacred Heart. RIT hopes to capture the regular season crown for a second straight year, which would earn them home ice throughout the AHA playoffs. Good evening and welcome to RIT Hockey Pregame Live here on the RIT Sports Network. Well, the regular season is quickly winding down and the stakes are certainly high as all 11 teams in Atlantic hockey are looking to make a move to solidify their playoff position. RIT had a chance to make the road a little easier last weekend down at Mercyhurst. Tigers, they'd have their hands full with the Lakers in Erie last Friday night, second period. Dustin Garagaj, the one-timer here, beating Tommy Scarfoni. A 4-goal period had Mercyhurst up 5-3 after 2. In the third, Tigers down 6-4 now. Cody Leskoski racing ahead and scoring up and over the shoulder of Simon Buechler. Tigers back within 1 on Leskoski's 12th of the season. Under a minute to go, Tigers still down 1, but with the extra attacker. And with just 37 seconds left in regulation, how about Aiden Hansen-Buchanan? He does it again. The clutch goal in the final seconds. We were tied at 6. And we were headed to overtime. In overtime, last chance for RIT. Elijah Gonzalez watched the quick pass off the rebound to Simon Isabel, and he scores the game winner. With just 12 seconds remaining in the extra session, Tigers survive 7-6 in overtime. So Isabel records his second career game-winning goal and 7th of the season. Aiden Hansen-Buchanan scored his 4th and 3rd in 4 games. Jojo Casero finished with 3 points, including his 13th goal of the season, which is tops among Division I defensemen. As for RIT, they picked up 2 of a possible 3 points with the overtime victory. Game 2 of the series last Saturday afternoon. Tigers trailed 1-0 after 1, but just 18 seconds in the second, Mercyhurst called for the tripping penalty. So RIT on the power play, and it's Leskoski to Matthew Wild for the one-timer, his 10th of the year. That would tie us up at 1. We would go to the third. Mercyhurst, Marco Reifenberger skating in, and Reifenberger's going to beat Luke Lush to give the Lakers the lead back on his 5th of the season. And then it's Mercyhurst with an odd man opportunity, and Mickey Burns is going to capitalize. 2 goals in 1 minute and 30 seconds for the Lakers. They would take a 3-1 lead over RIT. Under 2 minutes to go in the game, the Tigers going to win the faceoff here in the Lakers zone. Cody Leskoski is going to come up with the puck. He's going to take the shot, and Elijah Gonzalez will redirect in front for his 13th goal of the year. RIT back within 1 late, but the Tigers could not get a good look in the final moments, and Mercyhurst snaps its 9-game losing streak, winning for the first time since January 5th. They beat RIT by a final of 3-2 last Saturday. So the Tigers depart Erie with just 2 of a possible 6 points last weekend as their 7-game unbeaten streak has now ended. RIT finished with a 46-30 edge in shots as Owen Say made 44 stops for the Lakers. Elijah Gonzalez notched his 13th goal of the season. He's now tied for the team lead with Jojo Casero. So the Tigers will play 3 of their final 4 games of the regular season here at home beginning tonight against an Air Force team that is 1-4 in their last 5. With more on tonight's matchup, we welcome in our John DiTullio, who's with RIT head coach Wayne Wilson. John.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. Let's start there, Wayne. Through your next 4 at home. Controlling your own destiny, how important is that for you and your team?
Well, we want to play well. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. We've got great, I mean, it doesn't matter who we play in our league. We've already seen that. This is the last opponent we have not seen, so they're the only ones that we're, I guess, a little unfamiliar with. But we want to play well here tonight.
You're playing against a team that's lost 4 of their last 5, but their offense really predicated on the power play. What's the key for your team tonight and really tomorrow?
Yeah, well, we've got very similar special teams, both Air Force and ourselves, is stay out of the penalty box, which is, we've actually done quite a good job here over the last number of games, so we want to continue with that. Special teams you've got to be good on, but continue to do well on our 5-on-5, and puck management is the other area that we got to continue to keep getting better at and prepare ourselves for the playoffs.
When you look at last weekend in Erie, things that stood out, things that disappointed you when you look back at Friday and Saturday?
Well, the win the first night, Friday night, I didn't think we played very well. We just we made it a track meet where it was just up and down, trading chances. I didn't like how we played in that particular game and the opportunities that we gave up in that game. I guess you're happy with the offense and the fact that you scored 7 goals. But we get the win. Second night, I thought we played well, but we lose that game 3-2. We just, I guess, no puck luck around the net. Outshot them something like 46-30 or something to that effect. But I thought we were real solid in that game, better than in the first game. Didn't give up as many opportunities, but we didn't win that game. But that's hockey as well. Like, you're not always going to play well and win, and sometimes you get a win when you're less than your best.
What's been the message all week for your team?
Just keep getting better, so we've identified different areas. So like I said, our puck management's our biggest thing, that we don't want to start any easy breakouts, give them any easy opportunities. Our discipline as far as penalties go, we don't want to put them on the power play. Those are things that we want to really kind of control and tighten up and just play just a good solid game. We like our 5-on-5 game just in general, and that's what we want to do is win the game on 5-on-5.
Did you enjoy your Chiefs winning last? I have a feeling you rooted for the Chiefs last week, buddy.
I don't know if I was either team, quite frankly. Kind of crazy there, but it was a great game. Great game, and I enjoyed that as well.
Well, good luck tonight. That's head coach Wayne Wilson here of RIT for a preview of Air Force. Here's my broadcasting partner, Gene Battaglia. Gino?
All right, thanks, Johnny. Here with one of our favorites, Air Force head coach Frank Serratore. Welcome back to Rochester, and always good to have your Falcons, who year over year, the same roster pretty much. You guys have taken a step forward. How have you done it?
Gotten older, gotten a little older, and in this day and age when college hockey is so old and so deep, that 5th year COVID times 4 years has made like all the rosters. The market is saturated with old, experienced players, and that formula hasn't been able to work for the service academies and the Ivies. We have to do it the old-fashioned way. We have to bring in freshmen. We have to bring them through. We're not bringing any grad transfers, and we got no 5th-year players. But finally, we have managed to get a little bit older.
Yeah, your goaltender, Guy Blessing, what has he done for your program, serving as your backstop?
Well, you have to have one of them. You have to have one. If you don't, you ain't got no choice. You ain't got a chance if you don't have a goaltender. I always say, goaltending's 50% of the game, unless, of course, it's bad goaltending. Then it's 100% of the game. And Guy's given us a little stability back there, but, of course, the Tigers have got a good little goalie, too.
Yeah, Tommy Scarfoni and the Tigers. What do you see from this team on tape? Because over the years, Coach, it's always been Air Force and RIT contending here.
Yeah, no, we've had a good run collectively. And, hey, the Tigers are deep. They're old. They're talented. This is a great test for us. I'm glad we're playing them the second to the last weekend and not the last weekend. We played the second-place team, Sacred Heart, last week and played well against them and split. And this is going to be a great test. We need to win. We want to get a first-round bye. The Tigers want to win. They want to win the league. So both teams have got a lot to play for. But as far as how am I looking at this, I haven't seen a team in the league that I don't think that we can handle in the playoffs. So there's nobody that we play that I go like we got no chance against these guys. And we've played everybody now, with the exception of the last place team, one of the last place teams, and the first place team. So we're going to find out this weekend where we sit on the collective food chain.
Like this look here. It's nice gear you have.
You know what? Thank you. I came to practice the other day, Thursday, and it was so cold in here. I said, like, one thing about old guys don't like to be cold. So I'm dressing for winter. I'm dressing for hockey country, and dress them for a big hockey game, and this is going to be one.
Frank Serratori, one of our favorites, head coach of Air Force. Kevin, we send it back to you.
Absolutely, Gino, and I must be getting old because I'm cold too. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Well, the Atlantic Hockey postseason begins 2 weeks from tonight with first round action. With 4 games left, RIT can finish no lower than 6. The Tigers need at 1 point to clinch the 5th seed, and with 3 points here tonight, RIT would clinch no lower than the 2nd seed. As we've mentioned, the Tigers currently first atop the AHA with 45 points, 1 point ahead of Sacred Heart and 5 in front of Holy Cross. However, both the Pioneers and Crusaders play each other this weekend, only have 3 games remaining each. Bentley only has 2. They're currently 4th, followed by Air Force and AIC. They are 6th. Well, still to come on Pregame Live, the RIT women's hockey team was fighting for their playoff lives down in Hockey Valley this afternoon. Highlights are on the way. Plus, it's the only orange seat in the building that honors a man named Green. We'll revisit the significance of this tribute and share the connections to both RIT and the United States Air Force. But first, number 20 for RIT is Captain Caleb Moritz. The Fairbanks, Alaska native returned for a 5th and final year in hopes of helping guide the Tigers to a championship this year. He'll join our Kim Coffey live next as our coverage continues from the Gene Policini Center here at RIT. It's the Tigers and the Air Force Academy at 7:05. This is Pregame Live on the RIT Sports Network. Back here on Pregame Live from the Gene Policini Center at RIT as we're getting you set for the very first meeting of the season between RIT and Air Force. In Atlantic Hockey tonight, everyone in action except Bentley. AIC beats Mercyhurst 4-1 and jumps from 6th to 4th in the standings for now. Army is at Niagara. Canisius visits Robert Morris, and the big one in Worcester, Massachusetts between the 2 teams closest to RIT in the standings has Sacred Heart at Holy Cross. We'll keep an eye on all of it for you here tonight. Well, it has been a quiet year for RIT's Caleb Moritz through 29 games this season. The 5th year has just 5 points, but the potential is there to break out at any moment. The captain standing by live now with our Kim Coffey. Kimmy?
Caleb, you're entering your 150th game with RIT. Just reflecting on your time here, what is it about this season in particular that just seems so special?
Ooh, tough question. Probably the best team I've ever been a part of makes it special, and the ability, what we have, what we can possibly do with this year is I don't know. I can't put words into it. It's kind of bittersweet.
We were just talking about how your first year here was the 2019-2020 season. How much have you seen this team grow in that time?
Well, that year was crazy, going home early for playoffs, and then the next year coming back having no fans, wearing masks on the ice. Like, thinking about that's how we started, and this is where we're at now, almost selling out every game. It's awesome for the program. It's awesome for the future programs that we're going to have here. It's great. It's great.
Speaking of the fans here, 3 of your last 4 regular season games here at home. How important is it to be playing your best hockey at this point in the season?
It's the most important time of the year. You want to get on a roll heading into playoffs. You don't want to find your stride in playoffs. It's really important to really get on a roll, like I said, and going in the right direction.
That being said, what are you expecting to see from Air Force tonight?
There's no harder working team in all of college hockey. They're going to be physical. They're going to play simple. They're not going to make mistakes. And so we just got to match that. We have the skill to play with any team in the nation. So if we match the work ethic, we're going to have a lot of success.
Caleb, thanks so much for your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Kevin?
All right, Kimmy, thank you so much. Meanwhile, RIT junior goaltender Tommy Scarfoni is one of 10 semifinalists for the Mike Richter Award, presented annually to the top goaltender in the nation. 3 finalists will be selected next month, and the winner will be announced at the Frozen Four in Minnesota come April. Speaking of Scarfoni, he'll get the start here tonight for the Tigers. Scarfoni's 17-7-2 this season. His 17 victories are tied for 5th best in the country. His .924 save percentage is 7th in the nation, while his 2.35 goals against ranks him 15th. As for Air Force, head coach Frank Serratori is going to stick with the guy he's leaned on all season long, and that's number 1, Guy Blessing. The junior from Chandler, Arizona, will make his 33rd start of the year. He's 15-16-1 with a 2.87 goals against. Meanwhile, it's the final 2 games of the regular season for the RIT women's hockey team. The Tigers entered the day tied with Lindenwood for the 4th and final playoff spot in next week's CHA playoffs. Now, prior to today's game with Penn State, the RIT team bus caught fire. Fortunately, everyone able to get off safely, and there were No injuries. Taking on Penn State this afternoon as they made their way to the arena to take on the top team in CHA, the Nittany Lions. We have the highlights. We picked them up in the first period, just over a minute into the game, and it's Penn State here. Watch the sloppy turnover, and the Tigers are going to make them pay. Megan McCormick scores her 5th of the season, and the Tigers led the Nittany Lions early 1-0. Later in the first, though, we were tied at 1. The Tigers on the power play, and they strike quickly. Less than 30 seconds into it, the advantage, Kyla Bear, her 3rd of the year. We were tied at 2 after 1. Skip ahead to the 3rd. It's 3-2 Penn State now, but RIT just kept coming at the Penn State Nittany Lions today. Emma Pickering there to tap in the loose puck. The Tigers would tie it at 3, but Penn State would respond. Tigers unable to get it out of the zone here, and it's Tessa Janicki to Caitlin Roberts for her 2nd of the day. Penn State would tack on another. They beat RIT today by a final of 5-3. Elsewhere in College Hockey America, good news for RIT. Scoreboard watching. Lindenwood falls to Robert Morris. It will come down to tomorrow's final game. RIT gets just 1 point tomorrow at Penn State, and Lindenwood loses again, and the Tigers would be in the CHA playoffs. Also tonight, Mercyhurst with the early lead down in Syracuse over the Orange. Division III college basketball and Liberty League action at the Clark Gymnasium. RIT trails Union 53-52. That one late in the 4th quarter, 5:54 to go in that one. The men tip-off with the Garnet Chargers. I believe Union's name is now at 7:30 over at Clark Gym. Well, it's hard to believe that this building, the Gene Policini Center, is 10 years old this year, but despite that, each season there's still plenty of fans that visit for the very first time, and most of them will notice the lone orange seat among a sea of black and gray, because much like the former Tiger at Honors, the seat stands out even in the biggest crowd. His name was Green Williams.
He was just a great guy to be around. You know, everybody loved Green. You know, they loved the way he operated. They loved the way he kidded around, and they loved his big burly mustache.
Williams and Jim Stanley were fraternity brothers at Phi Sigma Kappa back in the 70s. And while Stanley played football, Williams was a goaltender for the RIT hockey team.
Green wasn't the most gifted goalie in the world, but I soon learned by being with him quite a bit. He had the heart of a lion, and his work ethic made up for any skills that he lacked.
After graduating from RIT, Williams enrolled in the United States Air Force, where tragically he was killed in 1984 during a pilot training accident.
It was quite devastating because he was young. You know, we were all young in our prime, and just getting started in life. So it was kind of a real shock. And to this day, whenever I see a jet stream across the sky, and anybody who knew Green closely thinks of Green.
Thanks to Green's sister, former teammates, and fraternity brothers like Stanley, a permanent tribute can be found in section 107, row K, seat number 8. A single orange seat right above the net where Williams spent his time as a Tiger.
How important is it to tell people that don't know about Green and what he not only meant to you, but to RIT?
I miss him. I guess I just miss my friend. Having the seat here, it gives us a chance to remember him. It gives us a chance to remember, what kind of fellow he was, and what he did for again RIT and his fraternity and especially his country. We're all proud of that, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that went through the hockey program that served our country and may have been injured or may have actually been killed. But I saw the chance to recognize Green in a special way for everyone that served in our military.
Yeah, tremendous tribute here for our dear friend at the Policini Center. Well, still to come on Pregame Live, RIT Associate Head Coach Dave Insalako will join us to break down tonight's matchup with the Falcons. Plus, the Tigers are in the midst of their longest winning streak in this series. We'll look back on the last time these two programs met as RIT ran the streak to 3. That's next on your home for Tiger Hockey. You're watching Pregame Live on the RIT Sports Network.
There's Hanson Buchanan, has Casero. Casero walking in, fires and scores! How about that defensive tandem? Another assist for Hanson Buchanan, and another goal by the sharpshooter, JoJo. Isabel lost the handle, though. Up ahead, breakaway, Schwartz going in. Schwartz to tie the game. No, he won't. Yes, he will. It went through eventually, as making the save initially was Colby Matthews, but it just slips through. We are tied at 2. Tyler Mahan trying to get the Tigers back the lead. They're trying to swing it in front. Trumbler is on the weak side. Trumbler, no, it's going to be Nicholson. Yes, so Ryan Nicholson gives the Tigers the lead. Sends it ahead. Another block shot. Michael Giannakis gets enough on it to get it out of the zone. Cook swinging over. Andrew, can you get another one? You betcha! Yeah. 5-2 RIT.
February, the Tigers extending their longest winning streak over Air Force to 3 games in this series. Air Force leads the overall Division I series 34-25-4. And since joining the AHA together, RIT and Air Force are 2 of the winningest programs in the league. Air Force has 7 championships and 8 appearances. Tigers have 3 in 5 trips to the title game. Let's welcome you back inside the Gene Policini Center here at RIT, where you're watching Pregame Live, presented by Taylor the Builders, as we continue our countdown to puck drop coming up at 7:05. Well, last February's 2-game series here in Rochester, probably the only time in the history of this series these 2 teams met with nothing to play for. If you remember, RIT had already locked up the top seed, and Air Force knew they were already out of postseason consideration. As we bring in the guys who'll have the call for you tonight, John and Gene. And guys, obviously not the case here tonight. Both teams are headed to the postseason, both desperate for points to enhance their position in the standings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good evening to you, Kevin and Johnny. And it's an Air Force team, John, that looks like, all right, they're getting back to where they were.
I mean, last year they were at the bottom of the standings. Not so. Frank's got them playing, let's face it, Air Force-type hockey.
Yeah, as we welcome in Dave Insulacco, Associate Head Coach. Dave, appreciate your time. When you look at Air Force on tape, what are you seeing from this Falcon team?
Well-coached team, playing with a lot of structure, playing really hard. Good special teams. Their power play is lights out. Obviously, Gavin has 11 power play goals, and they're just back to their usual self. So we have a tough challenge in front of us this evening.
And staying disciplined, right, Dave? Staying out of the box. Don't give. It seems like their offense, as you just mentioned, it really generates through their power play.
Most definitely, that's where they get most of their production from. They're getting about 1 power play goal a game, and you know as well as I do, all these games are decided by 1 goal. So staying out of the box is crucial, and being solid on the penalty kill.
Last one, Dave. Guy Blessing, he has started every game. He's going to get another game tonight. What do you see in this goaltender?
He over-challenges quite a bit, so you know we're going to have to be patient and let him make the first move. I think he's susceptible up high sometimes, and maybe some passes to the back door because of how far out he gets out of his crease.
Dave, appreciate your time. Go get him tonight.
Thank you.
Dave Insulacco, Associate Head Coach here, as these are always fun games here, John.
Some of our best memories have been Air Force in this building or at the old Ritter, going head-to-head with the Tigers. Some epic matchups over the past.
Yeah, as our player to watch for Air Force tonight, you heard Coach mention his name, Will Gavin, our player to watch, as he's got 11 on the power play.
19 goals on the season, but as you just mentioned, he has 11 on the power play. Of course, that leads Atlantic hockey. In fact, that is 4th in the country. So keep your eye on number 37, is certainly if they win to get the man advantage.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be special, as that for being a Saturday, it's going to be the senior day. One of the seniors here, Cody Laskowski, setting everybody else up on the team, whether that's penalty killing, whether that's on that top line.
He's just been sensational. He's had a great year. You look over the last few games. In fact, he has 2 goals and 6 assists over the last 4 games. Cody, 4th in Atlantic hockey with 32 points, anchors that top line. I tell you, I love his game this year. Really took it to a different level.
Kevin, this is going to be a fun weekend of hockey. Send it back to you for the puck drop coming up at 7:05.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. Thanks so much. When we return on Pregame Live, details on tomorrow's Senior Day festivities and how you can be part of it all. That's next. You're watching Pregame Live on the RIT Sports Network. Back back here on Pregame Live. With a win tonight, RIT can finish no lower than second in Atlantic hockey. Top 5 earn a first-round bye, with the top 4 hosting next month's quarterfinals. RIT and Air Force will wrap up this series tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 4:30 with Pregame Live. The class of 2024 will be honored prior to face-off, and once again, we will carry the ceremony for you live right here on Flow Hockey. Tomorrow is free tickets Saturday for RIT students, and the remaining tickets for the general public, oh, they're going fast too. We're less than 900 away from a sellout. Grab your seats now by calling or visiting the Policini Center box office or online anytime at RITtickets.com. Well, that'll do it for Pregame Live. John and Gina have all the action for you next, and I'll see you back here for the intermission report. Until then, enjoy the game. RIT Air Force. Oh, it begins right now.